back at the other end, the tremolo end. I do apologise for my unprofessional videographyism. I didn't zoom out from the last shot. So you're just going to have to trust me. I'm tuning in. I'm setting the heights of the bridge by going up and down the neck with the other hand, trying to find a bit of buzz and seeing how far I can get away with being as low as I can without buzzing. And this guitar came with its own Allen key wrenches, Allen key set, six-sided hexi key, you could call it. It's an Allen key. I call it an Allen key. Anyway, it came with its own, and with these threads being stripped off the piece that held them into the headstock, it's disappeared. So it's a very odd size though, and this is the closest one I've got. I'm suspecting it was Imperial back in the 80s, and my set is modern metric. Understandable, but it's close enough to work. So yeah, at the minute I'm unscrewing the nut end to lower it down, just to see how close I can get to the last fret without buzzing, and then I'll try it up and down the whole neck to see if I've got any buzz anywhere else. Usually the way I see it is that the one closest to you, the fret closest to the bridge, if that buzzes on the one behind that, it's the height, the action. So yeah, I'm just undoing it now to lower it down, see how far it's quite high up, mind you. I did raise the bridge earlier, the whole bridge, but it needed to. But anyway, yeah, just give it a couple of plays down there until it buzzes, and then lift it up a bit. And give it some good twang as well, because well, it's going to be played badly at some point, especially if I'm playing it. So you don't want it to be chattering against the last fret if you played it badly. So just set it up for being played badly, I suppose. I think that's not a bad idea. That's a good thing to set it up for being played badly, because it will be played badly at some point, and you just don't want it to sound worse than it already does by playing it badly. You kind of want a guitar to play as best as it can do, even if it's being played badly. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? It makes sense to me anyway. Here we go. Here's a prime example. You can hear it buzzing now. It's going zzz, zzz. And I'll just lift it up a couple of notches just to get rid of that buzz. And we've found the minimum height required for the string. So the rest of them should follow. Okay, so now the strings have been left in tune for a while, and they've been pulling the springs from the bridge end, and everything's settled down. We can now have a look at the neck, and it doesn't look too bad really. In fact, that's quite impressive. I know it's been hung up for the last 10 years without being played, but that's about bob on. I mean, around the 12th fret, it dips down just ever so slightly. The last fret is the same height as the first fret. I'm quite happy with that. And there's that horrible kind of bridge thing that holds all the strings down that we had problems with earlier. You get a better look at it there, I suppose. Right, let me explain what I mean by about the neck in the middle. I'll try and draw to my best abilities. The nut. the neck, profile, 12th fret, the strings coming over the bridge. Haven't got to roll along enough. There you go, all pretty. Now if you've got it parallel, there's your frets. If the string's parallel completely with the neck, the way that the string resonates, if you like, is very small amounts at the beginning of the string, very large amounts, the largest it does in the middle by the 12th fret. So if your string is parallel to the neck, it's going to buzz on the 12th fret or somewhere around there. Not good. So let's get some brilliant drawing back out again with my Sharpie. Fresh bit of paper. There's your tuning pegs. There's your headstock and the profile and the neck. Bridge end. Strings. This is an exaggeration, obviously. But if you've got enough clearance over the 12th fret, it's not going to buzz. But to adjust this, you have a nut at this end on the headstock that's attached to the torsion bar that goes through the neck, through the middle of the neck. So I'll do that on a dotted line. As if to suggest you can't see it, but it is there inside the neck, and you've got a nut down on the body side. Usually you adjust it so that it's the strings are pulling it or the torsion bar's pulling. So you tighten or loosen the torsion bar, you loosen it if you like to be pulled back by the strings, or you tighten it to pull the strings back. That way you're raising the height of the neck between the strings and the neck. There you go, look. That's what I've got these set up. I'm quite happy with that. And if I wanted to adjust them further, then I do it with these here. Right, so now I'm going to tune them in again. I think I'll speed this bit up. We've all done this enough times. I've done this on this guitar now at least half a dozen times. So I'll take this time to go through some interesting facts about the Marlin Sidewinder. It's quite a surprising guitar, really. It was sold as a budget guitar back in the 80s for between around about 140 to 160 pounds for the top model that this one is. This one is the top model. It's got waxed pickups, and this is where I heard earlier that there was some issues with picking up noises. Well, that's the issue. They'd solved the issues by wax packing the pickups. So apparently it was better than the Fenders that were at least 4 times the price at the time. This one is the top of the range, the £160 one, because of it's got the coil tap on it and the metallic paint. Now there's something that you kind of take for granted now, metallic paint, but back in the mid-80s it was a thing, don't you know? Another thing is that it's known to be built in Wales, which it wasn't. It was distributed in Wales. It was built in Korea. So there you go. It was the best-selling guitar between 1986 and 1988, and it was only just taken over by the Fender in 1999, but it's still regarded today as a very good guitar, and better than the Fender Squire at the time. The Fender Squire, nonetheless, better. Anyway, back to the subject of tuning up. I'm just doing some pinch harmonics at the 12th fret because apparently you get a more accurate reading, which I've got to admit, it does feel a lot more solid. It's more easier to tune in. you are actually tuning in the nut end, but with a pinch harmonic. Now I'm trying the 12th fret to see if the intonation's right, and it isn't. It needs to be lengthened because it's sharp at the 12th fret as opposed to the E at the nut end. The 12th fret should be an E as well, but it's not. It's quite sharp. So we're going to lengthen the string. That means tightening the nut up to lengthen the string. Just a couple, just to see how it goes to start off with. And that seems to have put the string out, get the string in tune to start off with, because that little bit of adjustment has made a massive difference. Now we try the 12th fret. Yeah, we're still out of tune. There you are. I'm trying to be as accurate as I possibly can be by doing this, and my tuner is, I've got the wrong fret there for the pinch harmonics. Anyway, yeah, my tuner is very sensitive. I don't think there's any need to be any more sensitive than it is. Just give it another tighten up, just a little bit. Oh yeah, tune it down. Now we've tightened it. Yeah, it certainly doesn't make, to my mind, any difference if you are a micro tone out, especially with the way I'm playing the guitar. You won't notice. So after kicking about some of the forums online, it seems that there are a few people that suggest that putting the guitar into the playable position makes a difference when tuning up because of gravity affects the tuning. I don't believe this, so I'm testing it out. I think it's possibly more to do with if you have the guitar in the wear, if you're wearing the guitar per se, not like this propped up against a bunch of pigeonhole things, shelving, sat on a nice comfy piece of foam. I think it's more to do with the fact that you're strumming it better in the wearing position, well, as you're wearing the guitar, because that's how it's supposed to be played. Strumming and fretting the guitar in this position isn't natural, so you're not going to get such a solid tone out of it. But I'm giving it a go, see if it makes any difference. And so far, this is now about the 8th time I've tuned this guitar up. I've left it, now it's now a good 2 days since the strings were on, since I put the strings on. And it's very minor adjustments now, so it's pretty much found its level. It is harder to do the pinch harmonics from this position, no. So you can see now I've got the tuner a little bit closer to the screen, how accurate it is. It's very fine adjustments now, slightly flat, slightly sharp, and it's only the matter of just touching the tuning keys. But I will admit that the pinch harmonics do seem to give a better feedback. I think it sustains a bit longer. So yeah, that's that. Gone through them all again. Now I'm going to try and set the intonation right. I'll just show you how close the string is to the frets. It's around about 2 millimeters. believe it or not. It looks a lot longer, a lot more on camera. So now I'm just going to check to see if the notes correspond all the way down the neck, right to the end. Of course, that's not on the tuner, that note. That one is, and that's not far off. I mean, it could only be a difference of pressing a little bit harder on a string maybe, but that's not bad. I'm happy with that. And that's cock on. That'll do. Right, now for the rest of them. So basically, you screw the bridge saddles tighter to make the string longer if the note is getting sharper in the upper octave of that string, and unscrew it to make the string shorter if the note is flat. So, while I whiz through all this like someone who's been sniffing something very bad for you, and you wouldn't want anywhere near your kids, have a listen to this fantastic artist. I'll put a link in the comments below when I'm able to do so.
Like ashes on my dignity, breaking through the cage to play with people on the other side, asking questions that man can't provide. My hunger carries on to seek divinity, taking out the last of all my ego when I strip my pride. No corners for my disregard. One with the water running through my veins, I speak the words of the waves. Sanctuary, sanctuary, we will find it. The name with the grace who keep the soul like Quincy Jones or Michelangelo. Sanctuary, sanctuary, we will find it. I stand in gives a little more to me. I can see the truth, there's more to life than what you see or hide. There's always angels working for your guide. My drive is just result of all my empathy. Every passing second I can hear all of the children cry. Just like a calling in the darkest night. I pray for the time to open the gates whenever I've fallen from my grace. Sanctuary, sanctuary, we will find it. The tree whose roots reach down to hell can grow up to heaven and you learn well. Sanctuary, sanctuary, we will find it. I stand in bridge
So just setting the heights of the pickups now, and I've set it to 3mm at the high E string and 5mm at the low E string across the whole lot of them, because they are very bassy pickups. I'm not going to convert that over to imperial for you. I don't see the reason why. I think it's about time you learnt the modern metric system. Okay, what's next? Let's put these locking nuts on. Clamp the strings down at the nut end with these locking nuts, and of course we'll have to tune it in, but only fine tuning at the bridge end with the fine tuners there. It's just a case of screwing these in and clamping the strings down, really. But don't screw them in so tight that you're crushing the strings. I don't know what the torque setting is, but it's obviously not too tight, but tight enough to hold them. Click. Right, back to tuning. Hopefully this is the last time, although I very much doubt it. Well, these are quite accurate. The fine adjusters on the bridge. Of course, you have to be very conscious that any pressure on the tremolo is going to compress or decompress the tremolo springs in the body. So it's a bit of a fingertip operation, but it seems to be going in quite nicely. Just don't move those springs. I suppose by tuning all of the strings in, it's already moved the springs on the tremolo, so I have to go over them again. Always good to check 2 or 3 times anyway. Right, start again. You see, it's out, just sharp a little bit, but only a touch. And you only have to touch the tremolo, the bridge, sorry, a slight bit, and it's obviously sharpening or flattening the note, which is what it's supposed to do. Oh dear. All of them slightly sharp just by tuning them all in again. But I think this is just what you have to do with the tremolo system, whether it's a KKT like this one or a Floyd Rose or whatever it is. You have to find the balance of the strings and the springs and the neck. It's minute adjustments now. Just checking the 12th fret to see if it's put the intonation out by tightening up the nut end. And go through it all. Basically, we've done all this before. Just go through it all again to check through it all again.
Swings like a whistle in the air. Sitting on my front stoop, praying with a prayer. Step to the corner shop. Guess all of my singers is a one-way shop. Get a cash from my dealer. Because my home is in my bones and I wouldn't change a thing. Now my old school store, I spend every penny I got to do to give unconditional love to you. I bring breath for your belly and time for your cries. Thinking about the house with your dust aside. When your years and your fears drag down those eyes. Keep your wrinkled fingers interlocked in mine. Catching my toes in the sunny sky. Step into the buckle and the final style. We'll take the long way walking home, just to listen to our favorite song. I'll be the rock for your confide. You'll be the king of my dreams tonight. Smoking kids, take down big cows. Sunday mornings going all day long, all day long. I love you in the best way, either in the next day, all day long. Living in the West Bay, making memories all day.
Well, that's gone through all that lot again. I'll give it a wiggle on the tremolo to see if it puts it out of tune. Not a great deal. I think that's acceptable. I think it's going to end up being one of those guitars though that you have to tune up after every track you play. Only by the minuscule amount. But we'll just have to wait and see as the strings settle in a bit more, and the springs. It's not far out at all, is it? Finally, I think we've reached the equilibrium. And you've endured nearly as much as I have over this by getting this far in the video, so it's only courtesy to click the like button, consider subscribing, and leave us a comment below what you think. I'll leave a link at the end of the video if you want to hear what it sounds like when I play it. But I'll warn you now, I'm no Joe Satriani. And I'm going to call this job done.
It is.